What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking back in on a title that we covered about a year and a half ago, and I had first impressions of it at that time. It was definitely a game that had some flaws and some things wrong with it, but it was also really, really promising. Oh my god, I'm blind! Okay, apparently the Viking sun is much brighter than the common world sun. But anyways, this is a game called Aska, and if I had to describe the game, it's nestled somewhere in between, like, Medieval Dynasty, Life is Feudal, and also Valheim. Those are the three influences that personally I feel deep inside of this game. I figured since I hadn't covered the game in a while, it was probably time to get back to it, and so I started playing the game 3 or 4 days ago, and honestly, I put like 20 or 25 hours into it. I've been having a really, really good time with it, so I figure we'll go back through, we'll update everything for 2025 so that people can figure out whether or not this is a title that they wanted to add to their wish list, or if it's one of those games that's just not for them. If after watching this you did indeed want to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. I've also got a whole bunch of other sexy flexy Nerdcastle links just in case you absolutely need, nay, have to have more Splattercat in your life across various mediums. But let's go ahead and dive into Aska. So in Aska, you are the chieftain of a Viking tribe that has left for far-off lands. You've landed in the wilderness, and it's your job to build up a society that's both self-sustaining and capable of resisting all of the gnarly mythological stuff that exists on this island that we currently inhabit. There are bosses, there are monsters, there's hunts, there's all kinds of things that you can do. In fact, right here, you can see that my village hunter has been doing a great job just bringing home hawks. All the hawks that you can possibly fit inside of your mouth. But every single building in this game has a function. It has very complex production chains. It's got deep and satisfying crafting. It's got exploration. All those things are here. But for right now to start out, I think that what I need to do right this second, so like one of the things that I need to accomplish, I've got a whole bunch of buildings being built anyways. Like all of my random villagers should take care of that stuff as the day goes along. They're all automated and they've all been set to their jobs. What I need to do is I need to get out of caveman tier here because I'm still using bone weapons and like wooden weapons. I'd like to find myself a mine around here. That way I can start gathering up a little bit of iron and making things happen. That way we can be equipped a little bit better because all of my soldiers are kind of maximizing, they're unga bunga maxing right now just like I am, but I would prefer to have something a little bit more refined, something a little bit more medieval and classical, you know what I mean? And so somewhere out here on this map, I've been looking for it, but somewhere out here on this map, there are indeed iron mines, and we kind of need to find one. All these red things that you're seeing on the map, those are enemy dens, or they're locations where there's lots of bad guys that definitely want to do terrible things to me. Let's go out past the cemetery. I'm guessing with the way that these are walled up right here, strong possibility we may find an iron mine like in that region. And while we're going along the way, I kind of just need to gather some other various stuff too to help out the tribe. And so I'm going to head that direction. Actually, how close is the graveyard? It's over here. Let's go check out the graveyard for a second. I need bone chunks anyways for some of the things that I'm trying to manufacture. We got wildlife running around over here. My hunter needs to bring one of these in because I can craft a horn that, like, all of my militia are on the day shift right now. They get cranky if I make them stay up all night. But if we can kill one of these goat things out here that's got, like, horns on it, we can actually make ourselves a horn that will summon all of my soldiers to me like a little army, Mountain Blade style, so that, like, if enemies invade or attack or whatever else, I can actually call in some backup instead of having to do it all myself. Over here at the graveyard, what do we have going on over here? Let's zoom out. Oh, I hear something. Oh, dude, there's a skeleton with a greatsword. Okay, I'm going to step back on him. We're going to pop him real quick. We'll jump backwards. Give me a little bit of a camera change right there. Is there another one coming? Oh, we stunned him. Nice. Okay, let's take him down real quick. Combat is not one of this game's strong points. I do think that this game would benefit pretty heavily from them going back through and sort of refining the hitboxes, refining the animation. This is one of those games where the combat doesn't feel like an afterthought, but like it doesn't feel good either. With those big bone cages right there, don't touch those. If you break those, it summons a boss, and we are not currently equipped for dealing with bosses. I've been focusing entirely on building up my city on this playthrough. I have not focused on like technology or bosses or anything else at all. So I figured the video right now would probably be a good time to do that. Let me look around for a second and see if I can find this mine. And if I can find it in a reasonably expedient amount of time, what is this over here? Oh, it's a Draugr glade. Yeah, you can see him right there. That guy right there is a Draugr. He's going to come to life if I get too close to him. It looks like we also maybe have wolves over on this side. Damn, dude. The world is hostile right now, man. The world is surrounding me with things that want me dead. Well, hopefully we don't aggro any of them. I gotta find, they said there's like a stone formation that gives away where okay, so that's a wolf den. Let's not go near that then. Let's just kind of like fall back for a second. Hopefully they don't see me. I don't know. Let's sprint back into the underbrush and, oh, dude, I woke up a Draugr. No! Okay, yep, we've got a selection of problems that we'll have to deal with here. Luckily, I can hide in the bushes like a ninja and can't nobody find me, because that's just how I'm built. I'm built stealthy. I'm built for speed. I mean, I see something that looks like it might be some kind of cave entrance, but it sort of depends right now. I've got about 1 million wolves that are all trying to eat my face at the moment, and we're going to have to do something about that first before I can investigate. So there's one wolf down right there. Looks like there's a couple more. Let's just sort of circle around this dude, see if we can get him to commit to some kind of attack. There we go. Just work on his... There we go. Get out of the way. Get him stunned. We took 10 damage right there. That's not super great, but 2 of the wolves are down because it says that this is a den over here, but like I definitely see an entrance that goes like down and into something, and so this may be our guy. Now we do have a little bit of a pressing time constraint at the moment because, oh no, dude, I don't know if that'll work. What are you doing right here? It's gonna summon like a big ass wolf if I touch that thing, isn't it? All right, well, I'm going to dodge back out of the way. You guys just do what it is that you think you're going to do. I'm going to stun you both up. Yeah, we got some nice cleave action going on right there. My melee combat leveled up. I just lost a bunch of stats because I died in this game. The death system in this game, it may be a little bit alienating to some people that come on in. So death in this game definitely has penalties. Dying is real bad. If you die in this game, there's a strong chance. So what you have to do is you either have to sacrifice one of your villagers and take over their body, or you can respawn, but you lose a bunch of your stats, from what I can see, permanently. I've only died once or twice, so I haven't got a chance to check it out super hard. So I guess that's not what I'm looking for right there. But on the plus side, we did get some solid combat experience, so that was nice. You also got to see what combat looks like. As you may have noticed, this game does have a poise system where when you get the enemy's yellow meter down, they are staggered or stunned for a little while, and then you can just like wail on them. Ooh, are we getting a blood moon tonight? I may need to get back home faster. It looks like we may be getting ourselves a little blood moon action tonight. That's gonna be super bad. I'm kind of far out right now. No indication of a blood moon just yet, but usually it pops when people go back to sleep. When you're gonna get a blood moon, I have found that like the world kind of goes reddish, so I got nervous right there. But welcome back to my colony. This is where I live at. In fact, every single thing here is a thing that I built. I did all of this. And so let me give you the grand tour real fast, and we'll start with the most important part. This right here is the Eye of Odin. The Eye of Odin is how you summon more villagers to you by loading it up with jotun blood, and then you activate it. It'll give you a list of recruits that you can potentially bring to the island to help you out with whatever jobs that you need. I'm full up right now. You've got to have beds for all of them. And so I don't have all of my beds done. Next door to that, we've got ourselves the Stonecutter's Hut. Unfortunately, I had to consume the Stonecutter's soul in order to resume my adventure like 30 minutes ago. I'm not very happy about it because my Stonecutter was like my second villager. They've been with me for a while, and so I kind of felt bad about eating them first, but they were the only person that was kind of expendable at that given moment. But this guy right here cuts big pieces of stone like these. You can pick them up and you can carry them around and take them to the buildings where they need to go, or you can break them down for smaller stones that go inside of this bin over here. This right here is my weavery, which in fact, it looks like they finished off. I queued this up for building before I left, and I've gotten really used to them not doing the things that I tell them to do while I'm away on some kind of adventure. So frankly, right now, I'm a little bit shocked that it actually got done. Well done, villagers. You managed to exceed my incredibly low expectations for all of you. This right here is a house where somebody lives at. It's got space for 2. It's basically just like a little mini A-frame house that they live inside of. That right there, that's my hunter's lodge. I already showed that to you. This is where my hunter goes out every single day and tries to find animals. If he catches them, he brings them back. He hacks them into meat and hides and these big old hunks over here. And then you can process those and take them back on over and cook them up for everybody to eat. This right here is my hedge tower. I have a hedge tower. I built it over here because people on this side of town said they felt like they weren't defended. It didn't help, but it does kind of look cool, and eventually I'll connect it to the city walls, because having walls around your city is actually a requirement in this game. You have to have that, otherwise everybody has like a really, really bad mood penalty. And so anyways, are you guys like not planting anything over here? What's going on with the farms right now, brother? There's a bear attack? Oh, that doesn't sound good. Hold on. I thought I was safe. I'm finding out right now that I'm definitely not safe. I'm going to need a new weapon. Hold on. We got a weapon rack over here. This building is my main manufactory where they build stuff for me. And so, like, I'm going to take a weapon real fast, and I'm just going to put that in right there because mine's about to break. Oh, that thing looks hostile as hell. I do not like what is happening here. I am not a fan of... I thought they were talking about, like, a little-ass brown bear. No, they were not talking about a little-ass brown bear. They were talking about the world's most grandiose, ridiculous mega grizzly. Okay, I don't know exactly what this guy does because this has never happened before. And so I'm just going to keep my head down, and I'm going to hope for the best. Maybe we can kite him out. Oh, the militia's here! Yay! Militia, you're doing something! I'm so proud of you. Get on... Oh, God, my ass! It hurts so much! Okay, I'm going to back off this way. I'm just going to kind of kite it out and let the militia do their thing. It looks like the militia got smacked, though. Nope, we're not doing that. I'll put a little bit of DPS on it. There we go. Put a little bit of hurting on him. Oh, he did like a lunge. Oh, my God, dude. My militia's getting eaten right now. I am terrified for my safety. Just keep him distracted. There we go. Keep him distracted. These stumps are really getting in the way of my glory right now. There are a lot of stumps around. Oh, he is wailing on her. Oh, he's wailing on me. That's even worse. I hate that. Wail on her. Wail on her. Oh, God. Oh, this is super bad. Okay. The bear is leaving the village. The hell he is. Oh, dude, he's gonna leave? Don't. No, dude. Absolutely not. You gotta give me my loot. Oh, that is the ultimate troll. I am deeply upset with you. No, I am not dying to a wisp right now. I have like 1 HP left. I'm running back over this way. I don't have a bed right now because all my beds are taken by people who are sleeping. That's kind of bad. That's not good. I gotta get this heartbeat sound to go away. I don't have any... Do I have any magic mushrooms, actually? There's magic mushrooms in this game. You can take magic mushrooms, and it will fix what ails sometimes. Open storage. Do I have any of those left? Gray mushroom. An enchanted magic mushroom. Yep, that's what I need. Eat the magic mushroom. We tripping balls right now, boys. Well, the magic mushroom didn't heal me. I swear to God, it healed me the last time I was using them as health potions for the majority of this afternoon before I recorded this video. I'm actually recording at night. This one's a little bit close to the wire right now. But anyways, I'm just going to hang out inside this house for a couple hours until my heart stops beating in my ears and until my ears are no longer ringing, because I definitely got my bell rung, dude. That was a big bear. Anybody that stands up to a bear that size, way more masculine and way more dope than I am. Okay, so it looks like there's a health threshold for the magic mushrooms, because that one definitely healed me right there. Good to know, actually. That feels like one of those things I would have found out at the worst possible moment. Like I would have used it in combat and then not got a heal back when I was on like 4%, and then I would have been very upset. So I'm really glad I figured out that specificity, because the first magic mushroom did nothing. The second one, when I had a little bit more health, actually helped out quite a bit. Well, the sun came up. I mean, a bear attack normally... There's a strong possibility the sun might have not come up for us. I almost died. Good job, militia, by the way. I appreciate you doing your thing. I'm going to crash out in somebody else's bed for right now. With your villagers, they are automated just like in RimWorld. You set up a schedule for them, you assign them to different buildings, and they will just do stuff. Aside from that, though, you also need to set up gathering markers all over the map that tell them where to go in order to find critters. And so that's also a really good place to start. Why did I just hear a monster? Something just went, nah. Does somebody have like a cold? Or was that a critter? I'm going to set up some more things for them to do, because I got to fully encase this place in walls anyways, and I think we're sitting on top of a decent amount of resources right now. There are a lot of things to build in this game. This game has an enormous selection of stuff that you can just fiddle with. All right, section of walls all laid out. They're going to need to keep working on that, because if you look at problems with your settlement, they get cranky about not being enclosed in walls. And there's a lot of crankiness floating around right now, and frankly, I like to keep crankiness to a minimum, okay? I do not deal with a bad case of the crankies very, very well. But I would like to actually take a look at the loom and figure out what I can make here. So we need linen in order to make some of this function. Honestly, it's not that hard to make linen, because one of the side effects of the farm over here is that he should be planting stuff. Are you planting things, or did I get attacked by a bear before I finished planting out my... There we go. I hadn't told the farmer what he was supposed to be doing. Now he's working again. There's all kinds of these little oversights. If you want to see how that works and get into the complexity of this game, so every building has a series of menus like this right here. You go into them, and it will have a list of the tasks that you can assign for the thing that you're trying to do. And then you can set up an entire list of the crops for the season that you are currently inside of. And then your workers should just handle that on their own. They'll do all the tilling, they'll do all the watering, they'll do all that kind of stuff so that you don't have to worry about it. I did hear somebody say that they were cranky about the food supply, though. Yeah, food supply could be a little bit better. So let me I'll probably edit out the next day. I'm going to process out all the meat that's over here. And then once I've processed out all the meat, I may go forage for a little while. Just to see, because like you see these flags right here, you put down these flags and they have a radius around them where all of your little guys will go and gather food from, basically. And right now they're saying that there's no food gathering locations available. So I just got to fix that real fast. There's a number of like organizational tasks that need to be taken care of today that are not really great for a video. I spent the entire day barbecuing, but I think I'm still going to have to go out and forage. I think they've officially picked through just about everything we have for food around here. I think I have Leonard, though. I have this fishing lodge down here. I haven't assigned anybody to the fishing lodge, so maybe I'll take one of my gatherers and I'll put him on the fishing lodge instead. What can you craft down here? Just like bait and stuff? Okay. Let's manage the workers over here, and let's put Leonard on it. Where's Leonard at? Leonard, I'm assigning you to doing fishy man stuff because you're terrible at barbecuing, dude. Barbecue game, so weak. Could be so much better. We take barbecue seriously around here, all right? It's one of those, I had ribs last night, and they were amazing. They were incredible. Fall off the bone delicious. That's all I'm saying. We take that seriously around here. You can't be slacking when it comes to, you know, getting good, solid meat done. It looks like they've mostly finished off the wall over here. It looks like they've missed 2 sections, but they're almost done with those 2 sections. So they're kind of like getting there. What I did want to do is I wanted to make some gear first before we go out to adventure. I need to make like a lot of linen. And so like how many linens do I need in order to actually make myself a suit of like basic gear? Oh yeah, by the way, anything that's in your backpack, your character wears it on their person. So if you're carrying like sticks or bark or stones or cloth, you can see my roll on the back of my character right there. All of the stuff that you actually have in your inventory is diegetic. It actually like shows, I don't know if diegetic's the right word. It's visual. It shows on your character, which I think is an absolutely fantastic little piece of detail. When it comes to what I can make out of all of this, it looks like we need quite a bit. So in order to get ourselves into basic linen stuff, we're going to need a few things. Like it's going to need to be, I think I'm going to need like 25 of these in order to make the full set. Okay, so we've got 19 in storage right now. That gets me the gloves. That gets me that bad boy right there. Gets me some pantalones too, dude. That's pretty sick. Okay, how do I look? I mean, I've got pants on for the first time in my adventure. That's a nice little bonus, dude. I've just been hanging brain this entire time while fighting bears. I don't know if you've ever fought a bear before, but you probably don't want to do that just, you know, in your skivvies, man. It's a bad idea. Shirt's on, and it does indeed look flimsy. It looks scratchy, bro. I feel like you're definitely going to get nipple chafing if you wear this outfit right here. Like, I don't know, I run a long distance, and I have to be very, very selective about the type of clothing that I wear while I'm running, like microfiber, so on and so forth, because once you get up to like 5-10 miles of running, dude, just that constant rubbing, it causes like weird reactions in weird places on your body, and you just got to watch out for it, otherwise it's going to be no bueno for anybody. Another pleasant morning of running through the hinterlands with a club. Let's see if we can track down this cave. I also need to go out into the field, and I need to, like, forage a little bit just to bring food back, because I think our food supply is pretty low. I spent an entire day in between edits just barbecuing meat. And they should have like 25 meats over there, but me knowing my colony, they're probably going to go through it pretty quickly. So this is a really good opportunity for us to kind of knock out two separate problems at the same time. We need access to iron, and we also need access to more food. I can hand gather a lot of it, so it should be okay. The game does come with this little, like, Ubisoft vision right here that you can use to see stuff that's laying around on the terrain. Since we're walking along the coast, actually, a really good option in that regard is that along the coast, there are, like, these little clams that grow on the rocks. We can grab a whole bunch of those while we're cruising around here, too, and just see if that makes us a bit more survivable. Don't have to worry about him. Don't really need to worry about you either. Get on out of here. We're kind of like past the point where those are threat. Yeah, these little mussels over here. These guys right here. You can see them on that rock and on that rock. When I get desperate, dude, I come down to the coast and I just get mussels until I have like 100 of them, and then I throw them in the stockpile, and that should hold them for a couple of days while we get other production methods spun up. For example, like the actual fisherman's hut. I think we've got like muscles like Arnold right now, so we should be good on that front. Let's keep an eye out. I actually need a water supply while I'm out here too. I forgot to fill up my canteen from the well before I left, and so we're going to need to fix that. You see that hitbox right there? It still counted, even though I swung way past that dude. I tried to do it again right there, just to reproduce it right in front of you. But to my eye, there's kind of like two major problems with this game right now that need to be seen to. The first one is just the combat. The combat needs to be smoother, more fluid, needs to have more reliable, more predictable hitboxes. It's a little bit wonky and janky. You guys know me, I'm a big Piranha Bytes guy, so like, wonky and janky doesn't necessarily disqualify me from enjoying a game. Just because it's wonky and janky there, but I only bring it up because other people that may be prospective buyers may be a tad more annoyed by that than I am, and so it's good to know and be aware of it before you go on into the game. The second thing that I've noticed is that the AI for like your little gatherers that are like moving around the map doing stuff, it's real hard to predict exactly what the hell they are going to do. A lot of the time, like, I've had my guys just, like, standing around doing nothing with no indication as to why they're standing around doing nothing. Everything's set up properly. After 20 or 25 hours, you kind of learn to figure out how to fix this stuff when it goes wrong, and sometimes they just, like, sit there, and then some inexplicable event later on will, like, shock them out of their torpor, and they'll start working again and doing the thing that you actually have scheduled for them to do. And so those are the two areas. There's a water basin right there. Let me get a little bit of water. Perfect. Get me filled back up. My stamina is kind of like draining at the moment. It is not going well. But that would be my other observation, is that sometimes with this game it can be very tricky to get your little automated dudes to do the things that you want them to do. I have no real advice for you that will tell you how to fix that or get it to work well when it happens. All I can say is sometimes the game's internal logic seems to like have a major brain fart, and that's the point at which you're kind of like, and I've just waited it out most of the time, or I try moving around the gathering flags or something else like that until I get the result that I want. Looks like we have a shipwreck over here. I gotta decide if I want to go throw down with all these drowners or if I want to stay on mission, stay on point, and try to find the thing that it is that I'm trying to find. Let's maybe run up on them. We might be able to give them the old blippity blaps. There is a big gnarly dude that you can summon down here, but I don't know if I can actually take him. Like, I'm kind of equipped better than these zombies at this point, but I don't know if I can handle the boss just yet. The boss has like a couple of moves that are actually pretty difficult to deal with, and so like, maybe? Just get you popped up right there, get you all nice and clickety-clacked, because I gotta level up anyways, dude. I gotta like level up my ability to fight, because I lost a bunch of combat levels when I died last time. Out here, dude. Now I got wet britches, man. Terrible feeling. Like, wet clothes on top of wet clothes. Gotta be one of the worst sensations in human existence. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, having, like, a wet overlayer with a wet underlayer, and they're just, like, on each other, and they're just, like, rubbing. Oh, dude, I don't like it. Then again, I'm real sensation-driven, so that might be it, too. For example, I talked to you guys about why I don't wear shorts. I can feel the fabric rubbing on my knees all day, and it drives me crazy. I don't know what's wrong with me or why I feel that way, but it's just how I feel. Oh, there's another shipwreck over there, too. Interesting. Is my fisherman actually working? I have questions about whether or not my fisherman is actually fishinating. One thing I will say for this game, though, is that if you got it maxed out on Ultra, this is actually a really gorgeous game. There's a few missteps. There are a few missteps when it comes to the transitions in between, like, the day and the night cycle, where occasionally it, like, blinds you, either with brightness or with darkness, as the game goes from, like, the evening into the night, or from, like, the morning from dusk, you know? But in general, dude, it's one of those games that's just utterly gorgeous to look at, man. Like, while you're hiking around through the hills, the fields, the glens, and all that kind of stuff, it's one of those games that does actually kind of feel like you're hiking in real life. Like, it's got that same vibe to it, like the shadowy thickets and whatnot. I very much, even though there's not, like, much that I've found so far, I've explored, like, that big chunk of the map in the last, like, 20 hours or so. There's not a whole lot out there to find except for, like, monster dens. But honestly, still pretty satisfying just cruising through all of these areas with their threats and, like, their beauty all intact, I guess. Also of particular note is how good the soundtrack is. Whoever made the soundtrack for this game, probably a big fan of the show Vikings. Honestly, I think the music's a big vibe. It's one of those things that really, really ramps up my immersion while I'm playing the game. Alright, so since I've strunk out multiple times on finding this cave, my guess is that it's actually down this way somewhere, would be my guess. There's supposed to be 3 of them on the island around somewhere, but as of yet, I have not found them. Probably would have been one of those things to suss out before I started recording. But other tasks that we need to get done for right now. There are still tasks that I think need to be taken care of. 2 of your villagers are not satisfied with the food they got recently. Yeah, they're probably still hungry. I did just bring back a batch, so I'll throw that into the gatherer's hut real quick, so at least they've got it there. It does look like they have eaten their way through all of the meat. Yeah, so they're probably getting pretty hungry right now. Let me just offload what I have. I'm thinking it may be time for us to summon another Viking to help us out with things. We got Lars and we've got Svend. We don't know what the rest of their stats are going to be. This guy has iron lungs. He runs longer and sleeps more often. He's Stormforged, so he actually gets a mood boost when it's storming out. That might be nice. This guy's a rain dancer, and he has mighty vigor. Okay, well, let's take him real fast. He'll be here in like 6 minutes. Every single time you summon a Viking, it takes a little bit longer to get the next one. I did want to check and see if this dude caught anything. It's possible the game hasn't pinged me about anything that he's got going on, so sea bass. Yeah, it's probably because he doesn't have a fishing rod or anything. I should probably get that mashed out over just at, like, the crafting place. Like, actually give him the tools he needs in order to succeed. And so we're going to need to manufacture a whole bunch of bait. That's not good in a time when we're already kind of low on food. But I also need to get another house built so that people have places to live. And so I'll probably get another cottage cooking, too. Just kind of like over here, I guess. We'll have it like recessed back up against the wall. And then maybe I'll do another one over here, although I got to go stumping real quick. We got to get this stump all up out the way. We don't have our F-350 with us. When I was a kid, we had to pull a willow stump out of our front yard because we had a willow tree in the front yard. And it turns out the willow tree was like 50 or 60 years old. Ended up weaseling its way into the sewage system. And so the city came by and was like, hey, so you probably like that tree in your front yard a lot, but it's got to go because the roots are like digging their way into the municipal waste system. And so we were like, oh, okay. So we chopped down the tree, but this thing's got a stump that's like 6 feet wide. And so you're trying to figure out how the hell you're going to get that stump out without spending the rest of your life just sitting around. There's no meat in there? Huh, that's a bummer. Wish there was meat in there. Well, he got a couple of kills today. Okay. I'll probably, let me hack this all off real quick. We'll just throw that on the ground right there, and then we'll get after it real fast because I got to use some of this meat to make bait. That way he's got like a higher fishing chance when he's going out to go get things, and then we're going to make him a fishing rod real quick. But anyways, Stump's out there in the front, and we like spent all day with like trying to burn roots. Like we drilled holes in it. We tried to burn it. We were using pickaxes on the roots trying to get the thing cleaned up. Finally, like we think we've got it like wiggling, you know what I mean? And so like while it's wiggling, we think to ourselves, we'll just hook it up because my dad's a roofer. He had an F-350 at the time that he used for work. And so we got like 4 chains and hooked it to the stump and then like hitched it to the truck. Boy, that was a terrible idea. That was an absolutely awful idea because one of the chains broke just from like the pull force that we were trying to like get the stump out of the ground with came off like a bullet. It sounded like a bullet when it broke, dude. It made the same sound that like a 5.56 makes when it skips off a rock, just like that. Like noise shattered out the back window on the truck, man. Oh, dude, it was a hazard. That was one of those times where you think to yourself, damn, somebody could have died right there. But we were fully engaged in getting this done by the end of Sunday. We were redneck engineering, but in that situation, redneck engineering, as expected, did not work out quite so well. Fishing rod made, and then when it comes to making bait, like where do we make bait at? I'm going to figure out where bait gets made at. It actually looks like I just handcrafted it. All right, we making some power bait out here. Everybody knows that smell that fishes. All right, we'll make him a whole bunch of bait, and we'll throw it in his bait bin, and then I'll hand off the fishing rod to him because we need somebody to be bringing in some kind of sustenance because I can't be going out, like, harvesting all day, every day just to support this colony. Like, people need to get on it, man. Well, the Lars has landed, so that's good. Anybody that comes to your colony by default is automatically a builder. That's just what they do around here, so they'll start, like, chiseling away at the ground on this side and starting to build up these buildings. I don't know if we have the stuff on hand to actually build that from where we're sitting right now, though. I haven't had a stone cutter in quite some time either, so it may be a good idea to get a stone cutter up and running. Like, we've got enough stones, but not like a lot of stones, so that may end up being Lars's job. He's not super great at mining, but I'm just gonna let him mine for right now. Other things that you can do with these buildings, they all have upgrades and attachments and add-ons, basically like wings that you can add to them if you have enough space to add it on. You can see the weavery, it like attaches to my building over here where I was building up. Unfortunately, this house is in the way right now, so, like, I can't put something on that side. I was hoping I could put something on the back side, but that didn't seem to want to happen. It only had 2 attachment slots. But pretty much every building in this game can be upgraded with the houses that you're building for all your various colonists. You can add furniture inside of there. You do get a special building of your own called the Chieftain's House that you can build, which is your own personal house that you can also furnish and put little ornaments and things like that all over the place that rattle in the wind like pirate trash. I'm not a big fan of wind chimes, man. You ever had one of those neighbors that's just like obsessed with wind chimes? It's just one of those things that if like at 4 in the morning, I don't need to hear that thing, 700 sets of those things playing jingle bells through my window, you know what I mean? I'm like, some people I guess find it relaxing. I would not be counted amongst that host. Another thing that I really like about this game is that if you have a stockpile, it actually shows the amount of items inside the stockpile that are inside of it, from like the logs to the lumber to the firewood. All of it is actually represented. So were I to cook meat over here, meat would go on this tray, but if I cooked mushrooms or if I cooked something else, those things would go on this tray, and there would be like a big smorgasbord over here that people could come and just like dine off of if they decided to do so. We do have one problem right now, and it's that I don't have any builders. That's going to get in the way of my building happening, and so I'm going to chip in over on this side, and I think we'll close out. I'll show you like how the incremental build... Oh, we do have a builder. Njord is apparently a builder, and you can see him going to work right now just leveling off the terrain. I have 2 builders? Oh, apparently I had more builders than I thought. All right, well, I don't know what everybody's getting up to right now, but hey, let's get to work. Like, the first thing you got to do is you got to level this whole thing off by pressing E on each of these little tiles, and then from there we'll go into actually building the foundation of the building, then we build the framing of the building, then we do the thatch work and the roofing of the building, then we do like the final touch-up work. Building something in this game is actually kind of a large-scale undertaking. It takes a little while. When you're building stuff by yourself, it takes an especially long amount of time, but when you've got help, it gets a little bit better. There we go. So now we have a chance to get the foundation in. I've got some ropes and rocks on me. I think there was more, like, rope-making stuff over here, too. They may just come pick it up out of the stockpile. Let me look. Yeah, I do have some ropes inside of here, but it may be a good idea for me to cook off some more real fast before my actual handcrafter comes back. If I get 2 more of the jotun shards as well, I can actually summon another guy too, because I think we're having like workflow problems at the moment. I love seeing my little militia guys run around. It's like my favorite, watching them run around all armed with all their gear and everything else. I've set up patrol points, so you put down patrol flags and they move in between the patrol flags, and you're actually graded on that. Like, if your guards aren't properly patrolling the village, people get cranky, all right? They lose mood. You can see their mood listed over here with all of their attributes and everything else on this top right corner, basically. Most people in my society are decently happy right now, except for the people that are homeless. Like, I don't think anybody went to a new country in order to, like, end up homeless, but it kind of is what it is, man. But all in all, I think I've actually really enjoyed my time with this title. I think I've already talked about my main annoyances with it. The largest one just being getting the AI to do what you want it to do sometimes can be a real hassle, and the combat could use a lot of cleanup work. I think they could definitely boost up exploration a little bit, but if you're looking for an in-depth man versus nature survival game that occasionally has supernatural incursions and stuff like that coming through in order to spice it on up whenever you get bored of foraging mushrooms and trying to survive day after day, I think that this is a solid pick. I don't hate it at all. If I hated it, I think I wouldn't have dumped 25 hours into it. I'll tell you that right now. I'll probably stop the recording right here. Hopefully this helped you out in deciding whether or not this is the type of title that you personally like to play or not. Aw, dude, I dropped my log, man. You're gonna get me in trouble. We have very strict rules around here, and one of them is no dropping logs in the middle of town, all right? Oh, that's already been put in there? Okay, I'll throw it in there then. Perfect. We're actually almost done with this guy right here. We just need a bunch of the big logs, and then we should be ready to roll. Hell yeah, dude. Expanding, making stuff happen, growing as a society. When I eventually find iron, it's about to be on. But there's boss fights. There's all kinds of good stuff going on with this game. It is definitely one of those titles like Life is Feudal or one of those games like Valheim that you can put an utterly absurd amount of hours into. The developers seem to patch at a decent rate, so I'm not too worried about the game getting abandoned or anything else like that. And so I just leave it at if they get the combat super tuned up here and get it feeling nice, and they get the AI and pathfinding logic and whatnot sorted out a little bit more pristine, this one's going to be one of those games that's like pretty rad. But with those two things on in there, it is a very addictive game that has a couple of flaws that may ward some people off. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were playing around with a title called Aska, just updating our coverage of it now that I've gone a little bit more in depth with it. Last time I think we just did first impressions where I played like the first hour and then edited it down and gave you some thoughts. This time I've actually put in like 25 hours. I've played it quite a bit, and I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep, normally, my turnover's pretty quick. When I finish covering a game, I move on to the next game because I got to have something else out tomorrow. But with this one, I can tell it's going to be conflicting. I'm going to want to play more. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out, and that's all I got for you, folks. Bye.